The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers Cable or Rogers TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to Health 180 with Carion Fenn on Rogers TV. My name is Carion Fenn. Posture, what does healthy posture means to you? Are you sitting or standing with proper posture? Well, we have lots to share with you today. Dr. Ian Horseman from the Posture Clinic is here to share with us what you should know about healthy posture. We want to help you learn more, so let's learn together. Dr. Horseman, welcome back to our show.
I'm excited to be here, live in the studio.
Oh, man, yes. It's actually our first time being in studio.
Yeah,
we
it is.
film online online during COVID. For those who may not know, who is Dr. Horseman?
Well, I'm a chiropractor, and I've specialized in many things over the years. I've been practicing for about 30 years now,
Yes.
and it's great. I love a challenge, and I love helping people.
Yes.
So that's I definitely found my mission in life to help as many people as I can. So being on TV helps because I can reach a lot more people than I
Yes.
could ever do in my clinic.
You know, there are doctors and there are certain doctors, and I say this from experience because the strength of a doctor is how they're there for their patients. And not only are they there in a traditional format, it's their empathy, their care, not just someone who walks and says, okay, we're here today, that blah, 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 and then they're out, right? There's something unique and different about you. Why do you do the things that you do in terms of helping your patients?
Well, I've always tried to help people that are kind of having troubles in life and trying to pick people up. And I just feel that the empathy comes from actually caring about people and wanting to make sure that they become as healthy as they can be. And just keeping that always in focus, and that's your priority. I mean, I feel like you can never go wrong if your heart is true and you're just trying to help people.
Yes. And I think that makes a huge difference. I also like the messaging, like when you walk into your clinic, there's messaging on the walls encouraging your patient. And it's not just going to see, your care doctor, but there's something extra that you do, even if it's just to put a smile on the person's face, that is so important. Share with us a little about the Posture Clinic and what the Posture Clinic does.
Well, when I first started treatments as being a chiropractor, I learned very quickly that posture treatment, so we called ourselves the Posture Clinic 30 years ago, I thought it was important, and to start to help people get posture. Obviously, I'm a spinal specialist, but when you add posture to it, you help it to become more ingrained, and it lasts longer, and you help people a lot more than just doing traditional chiropractic. So I love helping people with improving their posture, because it sort of takes it from temporary care to something that really, really makes a difference and lasts a lot longer.
Yeah. So why is a healthy posture important?
Well, now that I do neurology, the one thing I can tell you is that your posture is linked to your brain health. And that's something that we're just sort of getting a grasp on. When you're healthy and your brain is healthy, you have good posture. It's impossible to have good posture and an unhealthy brain.
Yeah.
So the trick now is that we're helping people with their posture. We're actually helping people age better, and the brain, it actually performs a lot better. And there's a ton of science and research behind that now, and more every day.
Is there a rule in terms of having good posture?
Well, I would put it in when you're looking at rules, keep in mind that positions that you put your body in over about 20 minutes starts to have a decrease in it has a negative impact if you're not doing correct posture. So if you keep yourself in good posture, you don't have to worry about it that much. But it's very difficult, especially with a lot of the things that we tend to do, driving cars, computers, desk work, things like that. So, I think the rule is keep moving and try not to sit in one position or stay in one position for more than 20 minutes at a time.
So if we're sitting or standing and that position feels comfortable and relaxing to you, does that mean that you're in a good posture position, or is it possible for you to be sitting in the wrong way even though you're comfortable sitting that way?
Well, sure. A lot of people, I'm sure everybody out there has sat down or lied on a bad couch or done something not great, and they didn't feel it when they're doing it, but when they go to get up, they're like, oh my goodness, what have I done? The thing is that when you're in a position for too long, the body starts to mold to that literally, and I'll get into that in the next segment. I'll show you how the spine actually works and why it's so important to keep movement and try to keep yourself in as good positions as you can.
So what does a healthy posture look like?
Well, the best posture is where all of the body parts are perfectly lined up. Your body's cut in equal halves, right and left, and your head, if I was come right from the middle all the way down to your feet, everything would be in very good alignment so that you have the proper curves from the side view, and that then gives you minimal output. So it's very easy to stand in that position or sit in that position because you're not putting out a lot of energy to do that. So the best posture is one that is efficient. Let's say the best posture is efficient posture.
Yeah. So can you feel if someone is in a good posture? Can you feel with your hands when you touch someone's spine?
Well, I can feel if, first off, posture is very visual. So when people walk in the clinic, I can see if they're, if their head's forward, if their shoulders high, if their hips high. I look at their gait, how they're walking, how their arms swing. You can tell a lot from, posture, and gait is posture in motion. So we look at those things, and you can tell a lot from how a person walks in. Can you feel it? Sure, because if it's good posture, the muscles are generally relaxed because they're efficient. If they're not, then they're tight because they're having to hold themselves up all day long.
Give us a few tips in regards to sitting at a desk.
Sitting at a desk, you want to make sure that you're not sitting forward like we are, that your back is well supported. And after the segment, I'll show you how to put a little towel roll or something in your back in the right position to actually take the pressure off your low back and keep you sitting better.
Okay, in terms of, because we all can't get off our phone for some reason. It's not just the younger generation, the more mature individual also does it as well. Tell us about text posture.
So the biggest issue is how our heads move forward when we're looking down towards something. So again, if I do it for 10 minutes, it's not a big deal. If I do it for 20 minutes or more, the consistency of that starts to cause our heads to go forward. And our brain and our body moves for efficiency, so we actually start to shorten things, and just to make it easier to basically sit and hang there. And that's great. It's just when you try to get up and start moving and doing things, it becomes a real issue. Creates headaches and all sorts of problems.
So I have to ask you this, because when I just sit back and just, I guess, relax versus if I sit up straight in a straighter position, I can feel my injured areas more than I would lay back. Does that mean that if I sit in the position, just relax versus sitting up properly, is that helpful, or should I sit up the proper way, or should I sit the way that feels more relaxing for those who might be injured?
Well, I think that to force yourself into pain just to sit properly, I can't really say that makes sense. But I would suggest that you can do things to help you sit in a better posture.
Yeah.
And again, remember, the thing about it is staying in one position too long.
Yes.
So, if you have to sort of stay off to the side a little bit to take the pressure off your spine,
Yeah.
and take the pressure off the nerve,
Yes.
that's fine. But that's where we come in as chiropractors. We can go in there and we can take pressures off the nerves
Yes.
and off the areas, get them moving better,
Yes.
and then you don't have that pain when you're sitting there.
So if you're in pain by sitting in a certain position and you're holding that position while you're in pain, what can you do to release that pain?
Okay, so get up, walk around, and stretch your back. It's really a thing of keeping motion. Movement is everything. And if you keep the areas moving, you're going to decrease pain. And you're going to get things so that it's easier to sit, it's easier to stand, and it's motion is lotion. It's really proper motion. It fixes a lot of things.
So is one sex more impacted by poor posture more in terms of male and females?
Yes, absolutely. I teach a lot, and one of the things we always talk about is the difference between men and women when it
Yes.
comes to posture.
Yes.
And quite simply, both sexes have the problem with their head moving forward, driving cars, computers, looking down. The difference is what men do is we tend to stick our bums inward. And as we get older, our bums sort of sway in, and we shift our weight down here. So most men have lower back problems and gut issues, prostate issues, and such. Women, because of their higher center of gravity, tend to shift their weight up, and that's why they tend to get more neck problems, headaches, and I would say into some of the mental health issues as well, because it's very linked.
Yes. So you touched on mental health. Does posture impact one's mental health?
Absolutely, because I remember when I said the brain's function, if it's healthy, has good posture. So we use in our clinic, in the brain center part of our clinic, we show people, we do things to help improve their posture.
Yes.
And we find that their moods get better.
Yes.
If they have anxiety, that decreases.
Yes.
And we do a lot of things that help to reduce stress
Yeah.
by getting their posture better, because those two things are very much interlinked. So absolutely. Very much so. And the more I practice and the longer I've been in practice, the more interlinked that really is.
So you mentioned before that you teach as well. How does teaching help you with your practice, and how does your practice help with teaching? Because often you see or hear that a lot of the things that you learn in school, you don't really use it in practical work environment. How is that in terms of you teaching and treating at the same time?
Well, for me, if you teach something, you have to totally understand it. You can't teach something unless you own it. So it forces me to understand something beyond just knowing it enough.
Yes.
But the other thing is that I'm one doctor. I have a lot in my head. I have a lot of nice and fun ways of helping people, and I want to get the word out as much as I can. I
Yes.
can only treat so many people in a week.
Yes.
Where when I treat and teach doctors how to treat their patients, I can reach a lot more people. So the name of the game is helping as many people as you can before you leave this place.
Wow. What's one quick tip you can give to someone about posture?
Well, a very simple thing you can do, talking about text neck, let's just start there. Again, avoid staying in one position for more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes is the key. So put a alarm on your phone or something that reminds you, and then when you do that, you stop, you stand up, or if you can't stand up because you're at a desk, do some backward shoulder rolls or stretch your neck out. The idea is try to stop sitting in that position. The longer you sit in that position, the more devastating the effects are. It's not just once, it's doing it thousands and thousands and hours and hours and hours over years and years.
Okay, perfect. You're watching Health 180 with Carion Fenn on Rogers TV. My name is Carion Fenn, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Health 180 with Carion Fenn on Rogers TV. My name is Carion Fenn. Dr. Ian Horseman is back with me in studio to talk about healthy posture. And we're going to be doing some demonstration. So take it
Well,
you, I say.
absolutely. Well, we're in the studio, so why not show you some things I can't do with a Zoom call over your computer? So the first thing is when we talk about text neck, and again, is avoiding that position, putting an alarm on your phone or whatever, and make sure it dings every 15 minutes because you want to make sure it's not. You get it before that 20-minute time.
Yes.
And the research shows that if you stay in a position for more than 20 minutes, that's when your posture starts to go south.
Yes,
So that's why we came up with 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So every 15 minutes, put a little chime or whatever, something you like to hear, and it goes off and it reminds you to get up, walk around preferably.
Yes.
And if you can't, at least start to do some shoulder rolls.
Yeah.
You can move your neck side to side, and that will just stop you from getting into that horribly hunched posture.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, yes.
To start. And also with text neck, one of my favorite exercises I show people, which is very easy to demonstrate, so we'll do it together if that's okay, is we're going to just take your thumb and you're going to put it straight out to a point where you can see it. Most people it's between 12 and 18 inches away. And then you're going to slowly bring it up and sort of in a diagonal and straight back, just like that. And you're going to follow with your nose, and your eyes are going to lock on the target. You can go a bit further than that, and then up a little bit higher. And keep going. All right. And then you stop there. And then what you do is then you come back down to the center again.
Okay.
And then with your other hand, you're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So what the idea here is that as I move my neck in these slow, deliberate motions, I'm actually doing many things at the same time. One of the first things we're doing is we're stretching the neck out in a way it's sort of designed.
Yeah.
You see, if I do this, it feels weird when you get to a certain point, but you'll find when you do this, even people with arthritis and degenerative changes in their neck, they can actually do this exercise. The other thing it does is it helps to improve the range of motion.
Okay.
So you get your whole neck involved. You get it moving in the design framework. Some people, when they get sitting too long, they get locked and they can't move one way or the other.
So what role does this play in terms of those with brain injuries?
Well, in a brain injury, the reason I love this is a tracking as well.
Yeah.
You see, each time I'm doing it, my eyes are locking on a target.
Yeah.
And as the target's moving, I'm keeping my eyes locked on that target.
Yeah.
And this helps with sports, hand-eye coordination.
Yes.
But it also helps the brain and the eyes coordinate with your body,
Yes.
and that helps your posture as well.
Okay, okay. You have a sample of the spine there?
So this is the low back. So I'm
Yes.
going to demonstrate a few things today.
Yes.
And I brought the spine, just again, this is the lower part of your spine. So if I can just demonstrate, it would be basically, there's my tailbone and I
Yeah.
pop it off here.
Yeah.
And in the lumbar spine, there's 5 vertebrae and there's these lovely discs here.
Yes.
And there's 5 of those black, hard, they're basically like sponges.
Yes.
And they are basically, the doctor explained this to me, they're like Jell-O. They literally have Jell-O in them because for those of you who don't know, Jell-O is freeze-dried cartilage.
Okay.
They get it from cows.
Yeah.
And what happens with Jell-O is when it gets warm, it becomes what? It becomes liquidy, right?
yeah.
So our bones and the discs in between do the same thing.
Yes.
So as you get them moving,
Yeah.
they become liquidy.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that when you first get up, you're
Yes.
stiff and it's hard to
Yeah.
move?
Yes,
But then
yes.
after a while, you're like, oh, I can do that.
Yes.
So by moving the spine in a very specific way,
Yes.
we can actually get those discs to become liquidy.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of mold them better. And I'll
Yes.
show you some molds after.
Yeah.
But what I want to show people is this really wonderful chair.
Yes.
Now, I want you to think of a ball, but the difference with this chair, it's got a small pivot point so that it can move a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah.
You can use an exercise ball here if you want, but this chair here is what we use in the posture clinic.
Yeah.
And this was developed by Dr. Burl Pettibon. He was the father of posture correction.
Yes.
And you sit on it, you hold here. And what I'm doing here is I'm just moving my spine slowly to start.
Yes.
And I notice, geez, when I go one way, I feel comfortable. The other way, it's a little tight.
Yes.
And as I do this for about 3 minutes, all of a sudden my back starts to feel better.
Yeah.
And the pain's gone because my spine has become liquidy again.
Yes.
Now, some people that have arthritic stuff, they can't do this as aggressively.
Yes.
But the idea is you move within the range of motion that doesn't cause you pain.
Wow.
Okay? So after you do this, my golf pros do this. They sit on the ball they sit on this chair or a ball and
Yeah.
they exercise before they do any activity.
Yes.
And then once you do that, your back is ready, and it's almost impossible to hurt yourself playing sports if you warm it up properly.
Okay.
And we figured out that the best way to warm up the spine, the lower part of the spine, is using this chair.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yes.
And then once I've warmed it up, we can also use fulcrums. And what these are, if we don't have one of these, these are just foam. They're
Yeah.
flexible. They're kind of soft. They feel
Yes.
nice. This is our teardrop there.
Okay.
And what you do here is, one of your questions in the beginning segment was, how do I sit in a chair?
Yes.
What's the best way?
Yes.
This is what I'm saying to you. All the best thing you can do, roll up a towel about that
Yes.
thick. So, about an inch and a half. I'm sorry, I still use inches, so probably, I don't even want to guess in centimeters, but
Yeah.
probably six or 7 centimeters, I guess.
Yeah.
And what you do is you come to your spine and you feel down where the ribs end, and
Yes.
you should be putting that teardrop down, or a towel roll here, right at where your ribs end. And what that does is it forces you up when you sit. So it stops the weight from coming down here.
Yeah.
Now, what most people do when they sit is they put the fulcrum lower down.
Oh.
Like in your car, for instance,
Yes.
you push those buttons,
Yes.
and it goes, and it pushes you here. But that actually compresses that area. You don't want to put pressure there. So what I'm telling you is, come a little bit higher up where your ribs end.
Yes.
Put the fulcrum here, and then when you sit down, it forces you up, and it actually corrects your posture as you're sitting there.
Okay.
People.
I like how you said, in terms of, if you don't have one of these, you can actually just use a towel.
Of course, because I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell you,
Yeah.
a piece of foam.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is what it is.
Yes.
But these are obviously made for the design for the lower spine.
Yes.
We also have one for the neck.
Yeah.
And I actually helped to design this, so I'm very proud of that. Because the ones that are on the market, they're just too big.
Yes.
They're, these big, see them on the internet.
Yeah, they are wider.
They're
They're
massive.
wider when you see.
People's
Yes.
necks aren't that
That
big.
big.
I mean, if I'm some massive, 6 to 7 foot person, yeah, maybe, but this is perfect for most people.
Yes.
And what it is the back of the head lies on the shelf. There's a nice little cutout here for your neck.
Yes.
And then you put this as close to your shoulder blades as you can. And then what you do is you put it right like that.
Yes.
And then I lie back on this. So I'm lying down now. I'm not sitting, obviously.
Okay.
And I'm lying down, and I can actually put the foam there as well. And I lie down like this, and what it does is it restores the curves in my lower back and the curve in my neck.
Can you give us some examples of places that you could be at while you're doing this? Whether it's in the bed, laying in the bed, sitting in a chair,
laying in your bed. You know what a really good thing is in the gym. A lot of people injure themselves in gyms. I see it
Yes.
all the time. And what I tell them to do is take fulcrums with you.
Yes.
And why you want to do that is you want to keep the curve, like this is the low back, you want to keep that curve in there. So when you're
Yes.
lifting weights and you put a fulcrum here, the weight doesn't jam onto your low back. It
Yes.
stays the way it's designed. Think of a bow and arrow.
Yes.
If I keep that angle of the bow there, then the string works, right?
Yes.
What happens if it's too much?
Okay,
The string's too tight.
Yes.
What happens if it's too much? Then the string's too loose.
Yes.
And that's what I spend my entire career doing, is getting people's spines into the right curve
Yes.
so that their muscles can work properly and everything comes back online.
Is the lower back mostly more impacted by poor posture versus the upper spinal cord area?
No, they're actually the upper back
Yes.
is what determines the lower back. So there was a lot of argument in chiropractic for many years. Was it the neck or the back or
Yes.
whatever? But the one thing I can tell you is the head knows exactly where you want to be in space. You have eyes and you have ears.
Yes.
All the balance centers are all here. We have receptors in our neck telling our brain where our head's at. We have to be able to look straight ahead.
Yes.
So posture is created so that I can look at you straight ahead. If I'm looking down at the ground or doing some weird
Yeah.
thing, I can't function very well.
Is there something else that you want
The last
to show?
one is for the curve in the neck, and this is a head weight. And again, what you could do is these are just pound bars of steel. We make these and we sell them at the clinic for posture correction.
Yes.
And again, it basically you put your head, a weight on your head here. And the concept is it's undoing all the damage you're doing all day long by looking forward, texting, driving, desk work. So what this does is it helps to react. It causes my body to react here, so that when I put the weight on my head, if I didn't react, what would my head do? It would drop down.
Yes.
So what I do instead is my muscles take over, and I bring my head back like this, Well, I can't walk around like this, so I chuck my chin in.
Yes.
That restores the curve and makes it stronger. And neurologically, it makes me aware of where I should be, and it helps to correct your posture. So by doing the fulcrums and the chair and some exercises at home, we can correct posture 60%, is our average in 3 to 6 months.
Is that with the weight at the top and your body weight, what does that do in terms of your body weight and the weight at the top? Is that balancing out the structure, like the pressure on your spine?
Yeah.
How does that relate to each other?
So with a man, as I go forward, what do I say? I stick my bum in.
Yes.
You know, older guys, when you see their jeans and we sort of say, gee, there were pockets, or they're like flat. It's kind of, it's depressing. It happens, though.
I didn't realize that until
now. So as your
now.
head comes back or goes forward, we tend to do this. Men do this.
Yes.
What women do is women tend to stick their bums out, and then they shift up here.
Yes.
So by doing this, for a woman,
Yeah.
it will bring your head back, and then your pelvis will come back underneath.
Yes.
For a man who's like this,
Yes.
he'll stick his bum back out,
Yes.
and you'll gain your bum back by fixing your posture.
Yes, that's wonderful. I love all the little gadgets that you brought in, and I love the simplicity of it, because mostly when you see stuff, they focus more on the design, like the look, versus actually what the product can do. What is one last tip you can give to others about having healthy posture?
Again, being aware. It's not good enough to just say to your kids, sit up straight. I mean, you have to understand that the body does whatever it has to do to stay efficient.
Yes.
And what we need to do is retrain it when it becomes efficient for the computer and the desk work and that. So limit your time on it. Don't let people do it for more than 15 minutes at a time.
Yes.
Exercise, get out there, exercise, drink water. People don't drink enough water. You need that to keep everything nourished properly. And honestly, just to follow some of those quick tips I showed you. Now, with the head weight, you don't have one at home. Here's a simple, easy thing to do. Take a baseball hat, put it on, and put a little weight on top of the brim.
Yes,
It'll do
perfect.
almost the same thing.
Perfect.
But come in, if you want to really learn how to do it, give us a shout, and we'll be more than happy to take you through the journey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Horseman, for being here. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Health 180 with Carion Fenn on Rogers TV. My name is Carion Fenn. Thank you, Dr. Horseman, for being here, and thank you for being here. And remember, together we are stronger.
Nice.